See, then I would take that nut off, that top nut, remember? Take that off. Take that little coupling, that ferrule I call it. And do you need those? No. Because this has kind of like a little ferrule attached in there. And then you would hold this up in there and screw that on, you know? This braided line going up to the sink, that's the best stuff to use. Now the one before, you remember it was white. I could have reused that, and I could probably get that nut off. You know, loosen it up from there now. Screw that on there. I could probably do that. But once I go ahead and replace the sink faucet, I'm going to put new lines on here, and the braided lines, and this is a plastic kind of braided line, and that's better than what they used before, but this is even better than that. This is a steel braided line on the outside, and it doesn't cost much more than this nylon type. Okay, so if you're at the store, if you've got options, get this one here. It only costs maybe $1 more or so. It's not very much. Well worth it in the long run, because if these are cheaper, there's got to be a reason why they're cheaper. And you know what they say, if it's cheap, not going to last as long. Now, if you are going to put that back up, don't forget to put your Teflon tape on there. It's going to be kind of difficult to put it on now. I almost should have put it on first, huh? The next valve I do, I guess I better remember that. But you can do it now. It's possible. See, I told you it was possible. One little trick, there's a little screw on this valve head. I took that off, popped the head off, and then I was able to wrap that around easier. Then I put it back on the very same way. Okay? Now we're ready to hook it back up to the water faucet on the sink. One thing you just want to be careful of is these threads are pretty fine, you know, and now that you got the Teflon tape on there, you just want to make sure you get that held up there, and you make sure that you're screwing it in properly. You know what I mean? If it's not going, don't force it, and you should be able to tighten it up with your fingers quite a ways, you know. If it's not going, just kind of move this around a little bit. I think I'm going to have to reposition myself. Oh, there we go. Okay. You can't tighten it that much with your fingers that you don't have it on the threads right. And see, you can move this around a little bit. And see that? That kind of concerns me too. That's a little wobbly. Wibbly wobbly. Wow. Really shouldn't be like that. I think it'll still hold. We'll see. Okay, now I can tighten that up with my wrench. I guess I should have just left this off. You need a little Phillips screwdriver to get that off. And then this just pops right off. Make sure you put it on the same way, and there's little notches in there because you don't want it over here like that or something. I think it's only going to fit one way though. Okay, now you can reach that better. Tighten that up. I only want to tighten that up so tight. You know, I gave it a couple turns. I don't want to do that too much more. I'll turn the water on to make sure it doesn't leak. If it drips ever so little, I might tighten that up a little bit more. But see, eventually, in the near future, I'm going to go ahead and replace this line for a braided line. Here's a braided line. This will last much longer, and it's like a maintenance upgrade. Doing some maintenance on here. I don't really like these nylon ones, and these look fairly old. Plus it's kind of, you know, I don't know, it's probably okay, but because I'm doing all kinds of other work underneath this sink, I'm going to put some braided lines, but I'll do that later. Okay, but for right now, I don't want to tighten this nut so tight that I'm going to have a problem getting it off next time to put this on, right? If this valve wasn't right up against the wall, I might be able to get in there and, without taking this little end piece off. I think I'm going to like these little gate valves. A lot different than the other ones. See, you turn it that much and that's all you got to do. Ready to turn the water back on. Got the water back on. I think that valve is off right there. I've got the faucet, the hot water handle up, and I think this is on right here. Yep. See, that's it. On, straight up and down, off. That much, a quarter turn. You don't have to turn it and turn it and turn it. Every time you turn something, especially on an old faucet, a gate valve, you got a possibility of it leaking, dripping around the rod, or the end breaking off. And this is a nice metal one. This is a good one to get. If you got a chance, you look in the hardware store and you got something like that you can get, do it.